Whether you're looking at downtown Toronto, Yonge and Sheppard, or Yonge and Eglinton, when we take a look at the Toronto condo market as a whole, we see due to increasing inflation, increasing interest rates, and overall more macro conditions having to do with larger trends outside of the Toronto real estate market, condo prices are without a shadow of a doubt down. Now, unlike freehold detached, freehold semi-detached, or freehold properties overall, condo prices peaked in March as opposed to freehold prices across the greater Toronto area and the Toronto real estate market, which saw their peak in February. So I thought, why not take a look at the major condo areas within the city of Toronto and the Toronto condo market to see overall, generally speaking, where condo values have held up the best and where condo prices unfortunately have fallen the most. As always, it's not an exact science, it's not physics or mathematics, but we're going to do our best to get an answer. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtor Realty Inc. As always, back with another video for you guys here today. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Sam. I'm with Remax Realtor. I work within the Toronto and GTA real estate market. On this channel, we like to talk all things Toronto and GTA real estate, buyer advice, seller advice, building reviews, pre-construction project previews, and so much more. So as always, you can find my contact information on the screen or in the description box. If you have any further questions, feel free to get in touch with me with any questions. Lastly, before you do get in touch, if you want to do a bit of your own due diligence and homework, feel free to just simply enter my name into Google, find my Google reviews, and see the feedback my clients past and present have provided. So for the sake of this video, we're going to compare prices from the 1st of August to the 20th of September, because obviously we're not a full month through September, and inventory is overall down. Sales as a result are overall down, not just because inventory is down, but that has something to do with it as well. And simply, it's just a much slower and cooler market, putting aside the price issue, which is what everyone focuses on and talks about, including myself. We obviously talk about price more, but overall, it's much more cooler just in terms of amount of showings, amount of listings, amount of offers. Properties are staying on the market for a longer period of time. Buyers are cautious and waiting. Sellers are cautious and waiting. So it's just much cooler. So as a result, to get the ample amount of transactions, to make reasonable assumptions and derive reasonable numbers with regards to average and median, we're going to compare the prices of August 1st to September 20th to those of March, where inventory was much hotter, sales figures were much higher, and overall it was a scorching market for the Toronto condo market and the Toronto real estate market overall. Let us start with Yonge and Eglinton, which is one of the major condo markets, condo sub-markets with regards to the Toronto condo market. Based upon 44 transactions, we see an average sold price of $702,000 for Yonge and Eglinton condos and a median sold price of $672,000. Now, I discussed Yonge and Eglinton condos much more in depth in a previous video. Go watch that video for numbers that are a bit outdated now, but still hold a lot of relevance. But at the time, we were in July of 2022, we were looking at prices for average around $765,000. And in terms of median, $712,000. Now into August, obviously, the prices are lower both on median and average fronts. Now into August, prices are lower on both accounts, median and average for Yonge and Eglinton condos. And especially lower when we compare it to peak market, because during the peak of the Toronto condo market, Yonge and Eglinton condos, based upon far more transactions, were selling at an average of $836,000 and a median of $790,000. So thus far, we've seen a drop of $120,000 when we go based upon the median, and a near $140,000 drop when we go based upon the average. Now, I want to emphasize the fact that in this instance and going forward in this video, median is a better measure. Not to say average will lead us astray, but with average, of course, if you have 5 condos that sell between $600,000 and $700,000, and then one that sells for $7 million, a penthouse, wraparound balcony, 2,000 square feet, well, it's going to carry up the average a lot. But as you guys know, I'm a much bigger fan of Yonge and Sheppard Sheppard as opposed to Yonge and Eglinton. Maybe I'll make a full-length video on that. So when we take a look at Yonge and Sheppard condo prices so far since August 1st to September 20th, by the way, the radius we're including as Yonge and Sheppard, as we did with Yonge and Eglinton, is a 0.7 kilometer radius. We see stunningly, based upon the same amount of transactions, 44 transactions, Yonge and Sheppard shows us an average sold price of $705,000 with a median of $704,000. And when the average and median are close to each other, it shows us two things: a more fair and balanced market, and furthermore, a set of sales that are very close in range. You don't have that aforementioned example of, two sales in the 600s, one sale in 1.1, another sale around the 3 million. It's a more compact range of sales. Average is close to Yonge and Eglinton, the median is far higher, and with good reason from that, I can tell you that Yonge and Sheppard area is in a healthier state. But before we make that complete statement, let's actually compare it to peak market, because in peak market, once again, March 2022, when the Toronto condo market was absolutely on fire, we were looking at an average sold price of $819,000 with a median of $792,000. So of course, Yonge and Sheppard, much like Yonge and Eglinton, much like every other area we will take a look at in this video, is down in average sold price and median sold prices. Prices are down across the board, across the GTA, across all areas, across all property types. It is a cooler, more depressed market. Insofar as Yonge and Eglinton thus far is concerned versus Yonge and Sheppard, it appears as if Yonge and Sheppard has held up much better. And I do not purely go based upon the numbers on this channel. I also go based upon my experience representing buyers and sellers working within the Toronto condo market for both buyers and sellers. And from my experience as a real estate agent and as a person, I truly do believe the inventory options, the buildings around Yonge and Sheppard are much better for end users and investors as opposed to Yonge and Eglinton. Now, maybe that's a hot take for some, but I stand by that opinion. I am a far bigger fan of the buildings in the Yonge and Sheppard area than the Yonge and Eglinton area. But enough of North York and Midtown. Let's get to downtown. Now here, obviously, we're expanding. We're no longer talking about a 0.7 kilometer radius. We're going to talk about a far larger landmass. We're talking about C1 and C8 in its entirety. If you're not familiar with what C1 and C8 refer to as codes, feel free to find a link to the TREP maps in the description box, where you can click on the link and go through the districting and see what C1 and C8 refers to. But more generally speaking, C1 is more central to central west downtown. C8 is more so central to central east downtown. And since I spend a long time talking about downtown Toronto condo numbers, we're gonna keep this a little bit shorter, because in C1, we see an average sold price of $788,000 with a median price of $722,000. Whereas C8, we're looking at an average of $784,000 with a much lower median of $692,000. Now, as opposed to the other areas we've discussed, Yonge and Sheppard and Yonge and Eglinton, this is not from August 1st to September 20th. This is only the August numbers. But safe to say, even in a slow period, there's a lot more transactions and inventory to go based upon in the downtown core, because not only is it a busier market, but it's far larger, right? We're not just talking about 0.7 kilometer radius anymore, than as opposed to the previous two areas. And of course, no surprise here, prices have fallen as well. We're enjoying peak markets. We were looking at an average of $891,000 for downtown C1 with a median of $781,000 with regards to the downtown Toronto condo market for C8. Respectively, we were looking at $866,000 for average and $762,000 for median. Still, nonetheless, here prices have held up better, although down tremendously, better than, Yonge and Eglinton. Now, I only got to cover the Toronto areas in this video, and not all Toronto areas. There's still Toronto West, Toronto East, namely Scarborough and Etobicoke areas, with some areas of North York as well. So let me know if you want me to cover those in future videos, along with, of course, Peel region, Mississauga and Brampton primarily, and then York region, Richmond Hill, Markham, and Vaughan condos as well. This is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate, Remax Realtor Realty Inc. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find my contact information on the screen and in the description box. Feel free to get in touch with your questions. Thank you, stay safe, and stay tuned. Thank you.